guys. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today at the Good Life Program for Healthy Aging, brought to you by UC Davis, California Department of Health, the City of Oakland Parks and Recreation, and Oakland's Aging Services. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Shanette. Nice to see you. Today we're making a roasted beet hummus avocado toast. Hopefully most of you all were able to get your beets in the oven already, because the beets are going to take a little while. So while we are getting everything started, we'll go over the ingredients, okay? All right, so for the roasted beet hummus avocado toast, we have 1 small roasted beet, 1 15-ounce can of cooked chickpeas, 1 lemon zested and juiced. So then it says half a large lemon juice, but essentially you're gonna wanna like add your lemon juice and then kind of taste and adjust your recipe based on like how you feel it tastes. Some people may want less lemon juice or lemon juice. I don't know if that's gonna work. We got technical going over here, but you guys know how that goes. We have 2 cloves of garlic, 2 heaping tablespoons of tahini, 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, tablespoon. And then some of the things that we have for our toast is we have avocado, cilantro, whatever type of microgreens you want. So whether it be sprouts or arugula, or even some type of lettuce or not, you can put tomatoes. This is where you get creative, get fancy, do whatever it is that you'd like to do. So we have some sprouts, okay, for our toast, and then we have our bread. So whatever bread of your choice, some type of baguette, which we're gonna split down the middle, and we're gonna toast that on the stove with a little bit of olive oil. And for those of you all who were in our class when we made our avocado toast the last time, we used a garlic clove, and I think that was one of the things that was left out of this recipe. But if you wanted to take a garlic clove and roast it in the pan while you were browning your toast and rub it on your bread, you can also do that, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the beet roasting, because that's gonna take the longest. So if you all have not gotten your beet into the oven already, that's okay, but it is gonna take a little while, probably about 30 minutes at the very least, to get that beet nice and roasted. So I already have one that went into the oven, I'll say about 15 minutes ago. So hopefully about 15, 20 minutes it'll be nice and roasted, but I'm gonna go through the process with you all so you can see how I'm gonna go ahead and roast my beets. Oh, and did I mention the chickpeas? Because I feel like I left out the chickpeas. We have chickpeas for hummus, okay? You're gonna make sure that you wash that. Actually, I did mention the chickpeas, but I just forgot to say to wash them. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna get this beet. Can you all see? Yeah, I can see it. I see my chopping board.
Oh, there it is.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start cutting. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is just go ahead and cut this down in half. Okay, this is like the most beautiful. Every time I cut into a beet, it like makes me so happy. It's so pretty, it's so beautiful, it's so vibrant and colorful. All right, so I got that beet cut in half, and then I'm just gonna go ahead, we're just gonna keep halving. So it's like this process of just like halving and halving, right? We're splitting, so we're gonna take the halves and cut those into halves and put them in, you don't want them too small because you don't want them to, you put them in the oven, you don't want them to get hard because they're too small, but you don't want them too big because you want them to cook quickly. All right, so I'm taking the other half and I'm cutting it in half, and I'm taking it in half and cutting it in half. Okay, so now I have essentially 8 pieces, and I think even if you have a small beet, you should be able to get 8 pieces out of your beet. I'm gonna take some olive oil, aluminum foil, and just place the beets in the aluminum foil. And I'm gonna put a little bit of salt. Now you don't have to put salt, that's completely up to you. and I'll take some olive oil and I'm just gonna coat them with olive oil, okay? So we've roasted beets a few times, so hopefully you guys are used to roasting beets. And I would say I probably put about a little bit less than a tablespoon of olive oil on it. I'm just gonna kind of toss it around and make sure everything gets coated. And then I'm gonna take this and bring it up into like little, just gather it right at the top and just make sure it's closed all the way. So it's gonna get a good roast, okay? And it's gonna help, that's aluminum foil closing it up. It's gonna help those beets roast faster because it's gonna keep that heat inside of that foil, okay? And all moisture will be able to be retained inside of that foil. So I'm gonna go ahead, I've already preheat my oven. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those beets in the oven. And per the instructions, it says 375, okay? I am rinsing my board. Naya will go ahead and give you some beet fun facts.
Yay, beets. Fun fact, beets are high in fiber and promote the growth of good bacteria in your gut. Having plenty of healthy bacteria in your digestive system helps fight disease and boosts your immune system. Fiber also improves digestive and reduces the risk of constipation.
Okay, that's good stuff. All right, so now the next thing that we're gonna start to do is get everything together for our hummus, because the beets are gonna take a little while, so we can go ahead and start processing all of the other things. Because it's all of the preparation for the avocado toast is gonna be pretty easy, okay? So you will need a blender or a food processor in order to make hummus. It needs to be blended up very smooth. And sometimes it takes a little while. And with hummus, it really takes a lot of, we won't say a lot, like a little bit of adjustment, right? So you have your ingredients that are listed, but you may taste it and say, oh, you know what, it needs like a little bit more olive oil to make it smoother, or I like mine a little bit chunkier, or you know, I want extra garlic in it. I don't really taste the garlic. So really it's completely up to you. In a traditional hummus, you're gonna have cumin and paprika, if I'm not mistaken, but that's not in this instructions, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead. All right, so one of the first things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and add, let's see, I just wanna make sure that I do this properly, because the instructions is telling us to, it's giving you the instructions from like peeling the skin off the beets. I'm gonna tell you right now, I never peel the skin off my beets because that's where a lot of the nutrients are. So that's really completely up to you. If you want to peel the skin off of your beets, you absolutely can. I personally do not do that. I just go ahead and leave the skin on, okay? So I'll go over the instructions and I'll read them out loud for us. And it's giving us, like I said, once again, the instructions as if the beets were already prepared. So it says, once your beet is cooled and peeled, quarter it and place it into your food processor and blend. So that's going to be part of the issue, is that we roasted the beets for cutting our beets, and that's hopefully going to speed up the process. It's not going to take that long because we're not roasting that beet whole. All right, so we're adding in our chickpeas, lemon juice, olive oil, tahini, and possibly, if it's too thick, a little bit of water, okay? And if you really want to get fancy with it, you can roast your garlic too, but we're not doing that. We're just gonna go ahead and throw the garlic in. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my chickpeas to my food processor. And then I'm gonna add in the tahini, maybe I should. Can you guys see that? I'll add in the tahini. My 2 whopping spoonfuls of tahini. I'm gonna go ahead and add in my olive oil. I'm gonna hold a little bit of that olive oil back to add in as I'm blending, just in case it needs to be smoothed out. I'm gonna go ahead and get my garlic together so I can add in my 2 cloves of garlic. And you know my theory about garlic, the more the merrier, but in certain recipes, you just wanna make sure that you're tasting before you're adding in extra stuff because it might be too strong. In some cases, it's cool to add in extra garlic, and in some cases, it kind of overpowers. So I would definitely start with the recommended ingredient amount, and then I would add, after you start tasting, okay? So there's 1 clove. We go with my 2nd clove. So we can get this part of the hummus all nice and smooth, and then we can add in the beet later, okay? So that's totally fine. I'm gonna add in my 2nd clove of garlic, and then I'm gonna go in, the first thing that we're supposed to do is we're supposed to zest this lemon. So I'm gonna take my little, and so this side of your grater, so if you don't have the small thin microplane, if you have a cheese grater, they typically have like a really small side where you actually can do stuff like that and you can zest, okay? So because I don't like to lose any of the, I can just do it this way. Let's see what's the best way. I like that. I'm gonna zest that lemon right over. And when you zest the lemon, you're basically getting all of those essential oils, like that really strong lemon flavor, right out of the lemon. You want to make sure you're watching your fingers, or watching your hands and your knuckles, and you're not zesting yourself. All right, and I got a lot of lemon zest in there. Right, and then I'm going to show you what that looks like so you guys can see. Can you see that? Can you all see my lemon zest inside of the, you see that here, right here? Is all the lemon zest. So I actually got a lot with that. Okay, it's all this part right here. It fell right on top of that blade, okay? All right, so now that I've gotten that out of the way, I'm going to half my lemon, and I'm going to squeeze half of this lemon juice into my food processor. And hopefully by now you have gotten yourself a little lemon squeezy. These things are pretty awesome. All right, so we have that done. So I'm going to save this because I'm most likely going to use the other half of this lemon, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. I'm using kosher salt today. You can use whatever salt you want or no salt at all. And I'm going to add this to my food processor. All right, and I'm gonna turn on. So while I do this, Naya or Eric, if you can mute me, and then Naya, you can give some fun facts about our chickpeas, about our lemons, and any other ingredients that we've used thus far while I'm blending, okay? And then I'll let you go.
Fun fact, the most powerful health benefits of beets include their ability to lower blood pressure, improve digestion, and boost athletic performance. They also help in providing relief from macular degeneration, improve blood circulation, aid in skin care, prevent cataract, build immunity, and relieve respiratory problems. These benefits of beetroots can be attributed to their richness in nutrients, vitamins, and minerals.
All right, thank you so much, Naya. So now I've taken, I'm like just opening up just to check to see what's going on. So I'll give you guys a little peek what's going on inside of my food processor. And as you can see, it's really thick. And that's why I said you're gonna hold back a little bit of oil. And it's very possible that you're gonna add some water. So when you start adding your water, because it's too thick, you wanna go like maybe like one teaspoon at a time, just a little bit of water, because it's really easy to add a little bit at a time as needed to make it smoother, the consistency that you want, than to add too much water and pull it out. Once you put it in there, you cannot pull it out. So you just want to go like maybe a teaspoon at a time and just keep blending until you get the consistency that you want. So this is one of those recipes where it's like, you know, being patient and just, you know, trusting the process, okay? So as you can see, this is the consistency. You can see it's really thick, okay? It's really thick, and we, you know, we still have to add our beets in there, okay? So hopefully you all have some extra oil. I like to follow the instructions of recipes, but sometimes you gotta kind of wing it and do your own thing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of that oil in there. And another thing that I'm also gonna do, and I'm gonna go ahead and taste. Because now I'm gonna see if I need any more salt or any more lemon juice. I can tell already that I need, I'm probably gonna need water. Maybe another garlic clove. It's good though. I like it. So far, so good. I think I'm gonna add another clove of garlic because, you know, I'm just kind of crazy like that. Trying to keep the vampires away. So I like garlic, and I don't really taste the garlic in there. And you don't really have to, you know, the garlic can really just be like a complement and enhancement to the flavors. But I like to taste the garlic. I'm also gonna go in and add this other half of lemon juice because I feel like it needs more lemon juice. But once again, I want you guys to all taste it, okay? This is gonna be a labor of your love and your taste buds. So I want you to taste it and see how it's coming along. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the top back on to my food processor and blending and then tasting. It's gonna be really thick, and we're probably gonna have to add some more olive oil and some more water, okay? Or some water, we haven't added any water. Yeah, so because it's so thick, so I don't want you guys to be afraid, and I'll let you guys see one more time. So if you can see, here, I'll do it this way too. If you can see, this is really thick right now. So what you need to do when you're making hummus is sometimes you have to add water to get it to the consistency, like that smoother consistency that you want. But my advice is to start with a teaspoon of water. Just add a teaspoon and blend, and then add a teaspoon, blend, add a teaspoon and blend until you get it at the consistency that you want. You don't want to add too much water and rush it because it might be too much and make it super runny. So you're just gonna have to be very patient with getting into the consistency that.
Fun fact, given that chickpeas are rich in protein, they can help prevent hair loss, and the manganese they contain can strengthen your hair. A deficiency in manganese can also lead to slower hair growth. The vitamin A and zinc in chickpeas also fight dandruff, which is pretty cool because I have dry scalp, so I might just try that. Let's see. Fun fact, lemon water can also benefit your liver health. Studies have observed that the liver produces more enzymes in the presence of lemon when compared to other food items. Enzymes are essential to stimulate, accelerate, and catalyze various chemical reactions in the human body.
So now I've blended again. Now I'm gonna come down and show you on my camera that it's getting smoother. I added in another garlic clove. It's getting a little bit smoother, so I'm just gonna go in and kind of give it another little taste.
Oh yes, it's looking hummusy.
Yes, isn't it looking hummusy? That's great. That would have been the word that I would have used too. So you see how that consistency is getting a little bit smoother.
All right, fun fact, garlic contains a compound called allicin, which acts as a powerful antibiotic agent and helps overcome respiratory infections that clog your lungs and leads to breathlessness and congestion. It also helps reduce inflammation, improves asthma, and reduces the risk of lung cancer. Digestive problems improve with the inclusion of raw garlic in your diet. It benefits the intestines and reduces inflammation. Eating raw garlic also helps to clear out intestinal worms. The good thing is that it destroys the bad bacteria and protects the good bacteria in your gut.
All right, so I added in about a teaspoon of water, and I just want to show you now. I'm going to keep showing you now. You see how much smoother that's starting to look? That's why I say like a teaspoon goes a long way in the consistency and the smoothness of it. And so now I'm going to put this top back on, and I'm going to go ahead and check my beets, because my beets have actually, I put some in about 10 minutes before class started, and so they've been in for about 40 minutes now. And so I'm going to go ahead and check those beets. Hopefully not hurt my hand in the process. Okay. All right. All right, so I'm just gonna move this to the side for a little bit, so you guys can still see. And then I'm gonna open up these beets. And my beets, you see they're nice and roasted and soft. And depending on, like I said, like if you want to roast your garlic, so this is one of those things where, like I always advise you guys to just get really creative. Like if you wanted like a roasted garlic, roasted beet hummus, that would be amazing. You never can go wrong with roasted garlic. My beets, as you can see, the knife is going through them just like butter, okay? So these beets are ready to be put into the food processor. It says, let them cool. I don't really know how much I'm gonna let them cool, but I'll put this on the side while they're cooling down just a little bit. And it also says to take the skin off. So this is one of those things where I say, use your own judgment on that. One of the best things about fruits and vegetables is that you're gonna get a lot of nutrients and vitamins from the skin of vegetables. And so it's almost like we're taking off one of the most vitamin enriched parts of that vegetable and tossing it in the garbage can, which is completely wasteful. Me, myself, I'm gonna go ahead and leave the skin on, okay? So I'm just gonna open this up and put this stuff to the side. Our hummus is almost done. Does anybody have any questions about your hummus or how your hummus consistency is coming out? And I'm just showing, if you look at my countertop view, you can see what the consistency and how after I added a teaspoon of water, what that looks like. And I'm gonna go ahead and add one more teaspoon of water and blend again, because once we throw those beets in, that's actually gonna thicken it again, okay? So I'm gonna go in and throw in another teaspoon of water and start blending again while we're waiting for our beets to cool in. I measure by eye. I'm like the type of people, I'm in the kitchen so much, I have a good eye for measurement. All right, so Naya, fun facts, and Eric.
Fun fact, tahini is a tasty way to add powerful antioxidants and healthy fats to your diet, as well as several vitamins and minerals. It has an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, and its health benefits may include reducing risk factors for heart disease and protecting brain health.
The hummus is looking great. Thank you for asking. So you want to take, if you have a rubber spatula, you just want to kind of go in and like scoop down. You know, when you're blending and stuff kind of pushes up on the side, you just want to scoop that down back into that blender. Make sure everything is getting in there. We don't want to waste any parts of this because this hummus is going to be so good. I am so excited, and I want to thank Patricia Richards for sharing her roasted beet hummus recipe. All right, so now I'm going to take my beets. They're not like piping hot, but they're still hot. I'm gonna take my beets, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just add half of this in first. And I probably could add the whole thing. I want all that juice too. I want all that olive oil and that juice from the roasting. I want all of that in there. We want all the flavor, okay? All of it. And I'm gonna start blending.
Fun fact, people suffering from stone problems should not include beetroot in their diet. The one suffering from problems with gallbladder or kidney stones should avoid eating beetroot. The amount of oxalate in beetroot is quite high, which increases the problems of stones in the kidney. So even though that it is beneficial, all things beneficial could be non-beneficial to certain factors. So make sure you watch out for your diet.
It already looks so pretty. Look how pretty it's already looking. So I only put half of that beet in there, and it's looking gorgeous. I want to taste it so bad. I put half of the beet because I want to give it an opportunity to really get blended up very well. And there's still a lot of chunks in there, but I'm going to go ahead and add the other half of my beet. Can you all see that? It's so pretty. I just love the way that beets make a dish look. It's just gorgeous. All right, so I'm gonna add the other half of my beet, and it is gonna brighten up that the color, and I'm gonna make sure I get all of that juice from the olive oil and the beets roasting, and I'm going to bring.
Fun fact, lemons stimulate healthy digestion and support the liver and kidneys with eliminating waste. It is also considered a detoxifying fruit, which can help prevent the formation of kidney stones.
Wow, I'm super ecstatic. Look at how pretty that looks. Isn't that gorgeous? Can you all see that? You see how beautiful that color is? Look at that color. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and taste. I wanna see what it tastes like, and now I'm gonna adjust. So if you felt like, so this is one of those things, if you added salt and you felt like it was too salty, it was too much lemon, now that we added the beet into it, I don't want you guys to get scared, trust the process. We're gonna add a taste, and I'm sure that beet has drowned out some of that lemon and that salt. Oh my God. Wow. And it's my hummus is pretty smooth. All I did was add an additional 2 teaspoons of our water, okay? So that was it. And it was able to really kind of break it down and help me smooth it out. I think I'm gonna go for one more spin for consistency, and then we're done.
All right, well, if anybody started roasting their beets while class begun, you should check your ovens because it has been 30 minutes, so those should be about done. For the people who roasted their beets before, how's everything going?
I'm excited. I'm genuinely, wholeheartedly excited about this hummus right now. All right, so I'm gonna take my lid. Oh my God. So, and don't be afraid. You see how I turned my food processor on and just walked away and just let it go? Because it needs to be really, really smooth. So once again, just trust the process. And you see how smooth that is now? Look at how smooth it looks. Can you all see that? It looks like a raspberry sorbet. It is gorgeous. I love hummus. There's so many different, you can do a roasted pepper hummus, you can do a carrot hummus. Hummus has so many endless ways that you can make it. You see, I'm actually being really petty. I'm getting all in between these blades because I want all of that hummus to come out of there. I want it all, I'm not wasting none of it.
Ooh, that sounds good. A roasted beet hummus wrap.
Yeah, hummus wrap, avocado toast. So you can just have it with a nice snap with some carrot sticks. At first I was like, oh, I'll just get them carrot sticks. I was like, no, we're gonna go all out. We're having avocado toast, roasted hummus avocado toast. Because you guys, I like to get fancy sometimes. All right, so I'm just gonna scoop all of this hummus out. It's really, 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 really good. And once you learn how to make hummus at home, if you like hummus, you will not buy it at the store again ever. I'm telling you right now. You will make it at home because it's not that complicated to make. And you get a little container of hummus for about $4 to $5, and you have no idea how long it's been sitting on the shelf. And if you make it yourself, I guarantee you, it tastes so much better than when you buy it at the store. And typically when you make hummus, you want to add like a cumin and paprika or something on top, or a little bit of olive oil. I'm just gonna go ahead and add like a little bit of oil. If you have like a good olive oil, you just want to add a little bit on top. You can drizzle it. If you don't have any olive oil to add on top, don't feel any kind of way. It's totally fine, okay? It's okay. So our hummus is looking real real beautiful right now. This is a roasted beet hummus. And let me know if you guys have any questions about like how to get it to the right consistency or whatever the consistency that you like. If you made like it a little bit chunkier, I actually like mine to be like a nice smooth consistency. You can eat this with pita bread, you can eat this with vegetables, make yourself a wrap. This is everything. I'm extremely excited. All right, so now I'm gonna move on to my avocado toast, okay? All right, so I'm just gonna start prepping everything for my avocado toast. And really the last things that are left is like just to prep the avocado, to chop the cilantro. In the recipe, we have goat cheese. I know a lot of you guys don't like goat cheese. You can put no cheese, goat cheese, feta cheese, Parmesan cheese, like a little shaved Parmesan would be good. And this is just like if you want to get fancy with it, okay? Because it's gonna add an extra taste. You can slice up tomatoes and put it on top of there. You can do whatever you want. So don't be limited by the recipe, okay? Don't let the recipe limit you. You want to do whatever, if you have some stuff that you want to throw in. And if you don't like sprouts, you can use arugula or any type of green. I bought my sprouts yesterday. They look a little dead to me, so I'm not even sure if I'm gonna put those on top. I'm not even sure how I feel about that. But I'm gonna go ahead now and get my bread ready. So I'm gonna get my baguette ready. So I have a baguette. So you can use whatever bread you have. And I'm just gonna cut. So if you have regular toast, regular bread, the same thing, you don't have to cut it, but I'm using a baguette. And I'm gonna cut this baguette in half. Okay. Move this stuff over here. I'm gonna turn my pan on because we're gonna basically toast this bread in the pan. And I'm gonna cut this into fours because that's pretty big. I got a lot of people to feed today, which I love because I used to be really sad at home cooking where I had nobody to eat. You guys know I like to feed people. Okay, so I'm just gonna clear my area. I like to move things out of my space. All right, so we have our hummus ready. All right, see how beautiful that is? It's gorgeous. And so you can do this a couple of different ways. You can actually put the olive oil on your bread, or you can put the olive oil in your pan and put the bread down. Now, if you want to get really, really fancy with it, okay, and I'm going to tell you, this is probably a great thing to do. You can take some garlic, and you can put the garlic into your pan with a little bit of oil on, kind of low heat, and roast that garlic really slow. And then when it's time to make your toast, you take that garlic clove and you smear it all over your bread. And I think I'm going to do that. Okay. I'm gonna find some more garlic. Naya, do we have any more fun facts that you can give?
Fact, avocados are rich in stress-relieving B vitamins and heart-healthy fat. They may help reduce anxiety. Vitamin E is a nutrient that is important for vision, reproduction, and maintaining healthy skin, which is also in avocados. It also has been connected with cognition, which helps widen blood vessels and is needed for the formation of red blood cells.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna add a little bit of oil into my pan. And forgive us, these instructions were not. This is some extra, this is bonus instructions, okay? So I have my bread cut off to the side. And I'm gonna go ahead and smash these garlic cloves. And I'm going to drop them in my oil. And you don't want to burn them. You just want to bring out that flavor and get these garlic cloves soft, okay? You want to get them soft enough so where you can spread them directly onto your bread. Okay? We're going to turn this down to a medium heat. I don't want anything to burn. Okay, and I'm gonna start placing my bread face down into that pan so that bread can get toasted. And I would say if you're curious about like how much oil to use, I would say use maybe about a tablespoon, maybe 2, depending on how much how much bread you're toasting. So it's all really gonna depend on how much bread you're toasting, okay? And just make sure you're keeping an eye on your garlic cloves. Does anybody still have beets in the oven that need to come out? Is everybody's beets out of the oven? Does anybody show me their hummus? What their hummus is looking like so far? Would anybody like to share? They're getting soft. I'm just gonna check this bread to make sure that it's toasting properly and it's making its way. All right, it's doing a pretty good job. It's not burning. All right, we're doing pretty good. Still toasting. So I'm a little reluctant to do something else while that bread is toasting, because you know me, I'll turn around and it'll be burnt, and I'm really not trying to be that person today. I'm really trying to make this a relatively smooth thing, but what I am gonna do is I'm starting to see that my garlic cloves are pretty soft. I'm gonna go ahead and take my garlic cloves out. Hopefully I don't lose any. All right, I managed to get them all into that little container. All right, so now I just have my bread in here. I'm just gonna kind of press that down to make sure, because depending on what type of pot you have, if it's not like super flat, you want to make sure that the inside of those breads are touching the pan and everything is getting toasted. All right, so you see what I'm saying? That'll turn around and burn on me real quick. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this out.
According to my Google search, baguettes are actually vegan.
All right, so now I have my bread that has been lightly toasted, and you guys can see I have all of my different pieces of bread. It's just a little remnant from the, see, that's nice and toasty and beautiful. All right, and while my garlic is cooling and I'm gonna let my bread cool a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of the toppings that go on top of our avocado toast, okay? It's gonna switch out. So one of the first things I'm gonna do, because I feel like it's gonna be less messy, is I'm gonna go ahead and cut my avocado. So how I like to cut avocado, I really like to hold it. You wanna hold that avocado very firmly in your hand and press down that knife until you get it right in the center, okay? Because if you go right in the center of that avocado, you're gonna hit that seed, and that seed is gonna protect you from cutting your hand. And then I like to just kind of like rotate that avocado around like that. And then you can just go ahead and twist it off, and then you're gonna have seed on one side and avocado on the other. And then if you do just like that, you can actually get that seed out of there. And avocado seeds, and inside of this hard shell, there's actually, you can eat the inside of that, which is really interesting. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just give it some nice little slices. Just make sure you're not cutting your hand, make sure you're not going through and cutting your hand. And I'm gonna squeeze it a little bit so I can easily get that avocado out of there. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. The hummus is actually gonna be our spread, and we're putting sliced avocado on top of the hummus, okay? So I'll cut this next avocado. So depending on how many, now did you see what just happened? The seed was so tiny, it went all the way through, and then sometimes you have to be careful for that. You see that? Look how little that seed is. I'm like, why is my knife almost going through the whole thing? I almost just cut my hand. That's why you have to be really careful. You want to go slow and make sure you're hitting that seed, because that seed is nothing. That seed almost, that was a setup.
That's my first time seeing a small seed.
That's okay. I've never, and it's like pretty hollow, like there's nothing inside of it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dig that little, look, it's like a little piece of skin. There was like literally nothing in there. Gosh, that was weird. That was the first time. All right, but this avocado was actually really beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and just slice this one down. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side.
You should taste the avocado to see if it tastes different.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, it looks the same. You know, avocados have a really interesting, unless you really understand what avocado, like it's almost, people think it's kind of flavorless, which is not. But I will taste it and see if it tastes a little bit different. It almost seems like it may be yeah, that's good.
Just come like that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes try the other one. Yeah, they're about the same. I feel the one with the bigger seed and it tastes a little bit better, but. All right, so now I have my avocados. I'm gonna go ahead and just slice up some of this cilantro, which I've already pre-washed, okay? So I'm just gonna mince up some of that. Just give it a nice little rough chop. All right, put that off to the side. Then I have my sprouts and my goat cheese there, okay? So now I'm gonna start assembling. So I'm gonna take my first piece of bread. I'm going to take one of these garlic cloves and I'm just gonna spread it on there. So if you don't really like garlic, if you don't have, you can totally miss this step. This is just for the people that are like me that are completely obsessed with garlic. I'm garlic obsessed, okay? You just kind of spread it. Let me get another spatula. And get here. Maybe. Oh yeah, here we go. Another rubber spoon. I'm gonna use a rubber spoon, make it easy for myself. I'm gonna scoop out some of this hummus. And I'm gonna put it on top. And this is just gorgeous already to me, all right? So I have my hummus, I'm putting it on top. And then we're gonna take some of our avocado slices. Now you can tell me if I'm assembling this wrong. Next thing is our avocado, right? All right, so our goat cheese. Oh my God, this is looking so good. And I'm so hungry. Our microgreens, which I'm just gonna do a little bit because they lost their fluffiness and a little bit of cilantro.
Ta-da!
All right, you guys already know I'm starving and I'm ready to eat. So I want to know how many of you guys are ready to eat because I'm ready to eat. I'm gonna grab a couple of saucers.
And fun fact, the fat in goat cheese is mostly in the form of medium chain fatty acids. These digest more easily and are less likely to be stored as fat. Another nutrient in goat cheese is capric acid, which can act as an antibacterial and anti-inflammatory, and goat milk tends to be easier on the digestive system than cow's milk.
Who else is eating? Anybody else eating? Has
Yeah.
anybody finished assembling their
Flora is over there munching.
Hummus avocado toast? That's a lot to say. Roasted beet hummus avocado toast. Okay, I gotta slow down and say it. Okay, my kid that was over there making funny faces at the toast is pretty much done. Okay, because even though he wants to deny that that toast is good, I'm looking at his plate and it's empty just about now. All right, I love that, Zay. All right. It's really good. It's super yummy. I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to make it again. I'm probably going to have several of these before the week is over because this is good. And I have a lot of bread. Pretty much, it's a wonderful recipe. Once again, it depends. If you're not a big fan of hummus, you may not be sold on it, but I think with maybe some adjustments, or if you eat it with like carrot sticks, maybe so much like with a toast, but maybe with some vegetables, it would be really good with cucumbers. But it's really yummy. I love it, and I hope that you love it. And for those of you all that do, I'm happy that you found a recipe that really suits your needs. And for those of you all who didn't like it so much, maybe try not roasted beet hummus, but try like a roasted carrot hummus is really good. Or you can do like a roasted bell pepper, like roasted peppers and blend it in there. There's so many different ways to make hummus. This is just one way, but I wouldn't give up on hummus just yet because it's such a protein packed recipe that it would be a shame if you didn't ever find a way to enjoy hummus. But with that being said, thank you all so much for being here. This is another session of Let's Get Cooking. Thank you to everybody that's here. This is the Good Life program for healthy aging, brought to you by UC Davis School of Medicine, California Department of Health, Oakland Parks and Recreation, and Aging Services. My name is Shanette. This is Let's Get Cooking. Thank you, Naya. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Passion. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye. Have a good afternoon.